Okay. Okay, now we're live. So, bear with me, folks, because I am a man on a mission today because I got to be out of here in an hour and 40 minutes. So we are going to be going through this rather quickly today. So we're going to get this computer booted up, and let me go live on Amazon here. We're going to get this computer booted up, and we're going to test as much as we can before I have to run, because my local high school is having their graduation today, and I'm going to help them with the streaming. And hopefully I'm helpful and I'm not unhelpful. So, any event, we're going to kind of go quickly here and get this thing open. And what we're looking at today is a laptop that I purchased with my own funds. This is a lower cost, under $600 laptop on Amazon right now. This is the HP 14 with a Ryzen 5500U processor on board. So this is, it's close to the budget category, but it should have decent capabilities. And I'm going to, in the chat, let you know what the specs are on this. So this is and I'm going to pin this because everyone always asks, right? Because they come in late, no problem. It's the algorithm, right? So the specs on this are a Ryzen 5500U, 8 gigabytes of RAM, and that's all I know. And the rest we will learn as we proceed here. And like I said, I've got to be out of here in like 90 minutes. So we're going to be cruising today. All right, so we're not going to have a lot of chit-chat time, but I will say hello to some friends who have popped in. So we have, let me see who we have here. We have Go Hogs for Life. Romeric is here, always among the first. John is here. Heffen was in YouTube when the notification popped up, so you were in the right place at the right time. KK is here from India. Recipe Bob is here. Hello there. Yeah, so we're not going to waste any time today, folks, because I got to get moving. I've been like crazy busy this week. Like last 2 weeks, I've had a project I've been working on that you may or may not see the results of, and so that has kind of taken me offline. So my backlog is continually increasing here. And it looks like Glitched is having some trouble saying hi, but I gotcha. Hello. Good to see you. Tano says this thing is 6 cores and 12 threads. It sure is. Yeah, these are pretty quick little machines. Beta Balba is here. Tomorrow's Fear is here. Peter is here. Robert is here. So yeah, we've got lots of stuff here. These Ryzen machines are pretty remarkable performers. Now, what I'm not sure about is how they've configured the RAM on this, because on the spec sheet, it says that the RAM is configured with a single module of 8. So my concern is that it might not be dual channel, which would totally kill its performance. So I'm hoping that's not the case when we get into it. So this is the computer. I bought this, by the way, paid for it. I always like to get these lower cost machines in, and sometimes it's faster just to buy it and then sell it to one of you. And I hate when they've got the sticker on here. I have a feeling that there are probably, let me not actually. There's probably screws underneath this top one. So that concerns me, and I don't have a lot of time this afternoon. So let's boot this up and see if we can discern what the RAM configuration is, and then we'll dive into it and see. Feels pretty good. It doesn't feel, super high end. That's to be expected for the price point. But it looks good. You've got most of your ports on the right-hand side, HDMI, 2 USB 3s, and USB Type-C. I doubt this provides power delivery, but we will flesh that out when we do the full review. And the good thing is that we've looked at a couple of these machines now, so we'll have an idea as to the RAM performance when we boot it up. So why don't we do that first and just see what the configuration looks like. And then if we have reason to believe that it's single channel, maybe we'll pop the hood and see what kind of upgradability there is. I'm going to do that anyhow because it's something that we'd want to do. But like I said, I'm short on time today, so I think we'll measure it first and then make a determination. And at the end of the day, in my testing, that's what we'll end up doing anyhow, is testing testing it with another stick of RAM if it supports that, and then of course without, so you can really demonstrate the performance differences. All right, so let's boot it up and see where we go. Yeah, so Damon says more HP. Well, here's the thing. I am loaded up right now with HP and Lenovo, so I'm trying to get through all this stuff. But this one I bought specifically because there have not been that many low-cost Ryzens that I haven't looked at yet. So this one fits that bill. So that's why I went with this one, because I think this will perform, like a video about this computer will perform well. So that is why we went with this one.
Hi there.
Hello. All right, so we got to go through the setup process here,
A little sign in here,
and we'll get the ball rolling.
There,
Yeah,
we'll
the build quality doesn't feel great on this. I mean, that's to be expected. There's always trade-offs, right? So when you go low end, you're looking at performance or build quality and battery life and display quality. So the display on first glance, now granted we're just in this mode here as we're getting through this. This doesn't look bad to me. It is a 1080p 14-inch display. And HP has always had a laptop in this category that has actually had a decent display. So it's not bad. And we're just going to jump on my network here and get configured. What happened here? Yeah, the trackpad, I am not crazy about the trackpad, I will tell you that much. It's very springy. Like I'm not even like putting a lot of pressure on it, and I'm feeling it move. Tana's wondering, is the rear made out of aluminum? It does not appear to be. I think it is all plastic. Yeah, it's all plastic. And normally you would ding them on build quality, but the bar is low at this price point. And what I'm looking for here is, what kind of performance can you get out of this? Because this doesn't feel, again, this is first blush here. This doesn't feel all that much different than what you might see from an Acer or something in that price range either. They tend to follow a similar path, but it's definitely plastic, and this trackpad is terrible. All right, so hang on, let's get into my test account here. We'll get everything configured. All right, 1 minute here. Yeah, so the keyboard's okay. Trackpad, not so great. And if you want to know how much RAM it has, check the pinned comment. So I will refer you all to the pinned comment on YouTube here. Let me just accept all of the terms of service that they're applying to me here. Yeah, it's becoming more of an effort to install Windows because there's more things that you have to go through. So let's just finish this up here. All right, let's see what. Sorry for me. I'm not going to be so great on questions today either because I am running, like I said, running short on time. All right, so I think we're going through all the updates and everything now. Ian wants to know, does the screen look pretty clear? Yeah, I'm okay with the screen. I think it's not bad. And I haven't seen it go into Windows yet, but for a low-cost unit like this, it's not bad. It's similar to, I've looked at 14-inch HPs in the past around this price point, so we'll have to see what this looks like. Emilio had a 14S and said the hinges started getting weak after a couple of months. And after 7 months, you're still under warranty, so hopefully you were able to get them to fix it. Let's see, I'm looking through the rest of the comments here. Tano prefers plastic. Yeah, actually, the screen doesn't look bad to me, to be honest with you. I mean, I haven't seen anything beyond the Windows screen, but a lot of times you can tell, like, out of the gate if it's too, if it's too cold or washed out or whatever. It doesn't look bad. It's a 1080p display. For the price point, so far it looks okay, but I haven't seen anything beyond the blue of the setup screen. So we'll see what it really looks like when it boots up. Screen brightness, I believe, is 250 nits. And right now on Amazon, this is selling for $560. So it is not all that expensive, but it is pretty dim. I mean, it's 250 nits, so you're not getting, something brighter than that. Peter's asking how much bloatware does it have. We're already seeing some of it. We got the whatever this is. Let's skip this. I already registered. See, here's the crazy thing is I've registered everything already, and then it's asking me to register again. I do like, though, that they opt you out of everything, right? So that's good. And I don't want Dropbox. I don't want ExpressVPN. Okay, so we've opted out of everything there. So, yeah, so, the display is not bright, but it's sharp. It actually looks really nice. It's there was some discussion about anti-glare. I'll point it up at the lights here, but that's a studio light, so it's it is what it is. AS on the chat says Lenovo IdeaPad 3 for $449, which is the same specs. I guess if you want something 15, go for it. This is a 14, so it's a little smaller. But it's good to start that we're seeing these Ryzen machines coming in at around this price point. So that is good. All right, first thing we got to check here is if we can kind of discern what the RAM configuration is. I'm going to check in here first. And if I have to, I'll grab CPU Z. Yeah, so it's saying there's only one socket of RAM. So my concern with this computer is that it's running single channel, which kills these chips, especially for gaming. So that's not a good sign. But what we're going to do is we're going to get Steam installed. We're going to run our first benchmark on it. I am going to update the AMD drivers too, just so that we're kind of current. And I'm guessing there's going to be a ton of updates, but I don't want to subject you to all of that. So I think what we'll do is we'll look at the Radeon, we'll get the Radeon updates going first, just to get the graphics drivers up to speed. And that's how we'll go there. All right, let's just see if we can get through this. Let's see if they have a quick updater in here. So I can always just grab the new drivers too, off of. I wonder if they have like a quick updater for drivers. I'm lazy. I like to just go and grab the drivers real quick, but I'll do a quick search for Radeon drivers and we'll go from there. The version of Windows it's running, I'll have to check, but it does have the new version of Edge, so it's closer to current. The fan is already going on it, but I suspect that it's downloading Windows updates, which is probably why we're hearing that fan come on. And yes, the screen is 1080p. You know what I'll do is I will update the chat with that spec, because I did not have it there before. Specs, Ryzen 5500U, 8 GB RAM, 14-inch 1080p IPS display. And that way we've got that pinned up there. Okay. So let's go and get started here. All right, so let's do a quick search for AMD drivers. And we'll just grab these drivers real quick. They have like this auto detect thing, so we're just going to run that just because I am short on time. I'm not going to go snoop around for an hour trying to find drivers. So we'll hit download here, grab that. They have the display scaling enabled here too, so I'm going to adjust that real quick. I do not like this trackpad. It bounces. Even when you're just moving the cursor around here, it's bouncing. All right, so I'm sorry, you're not seeing what I'm seeing here. So trackpad, touchpad settings. I'm just going to turn off tap to click because that drives me crazy. Okay, and let's open up this file here, and we'll get this installed. Yeah, so I'm okay with the display. I think the display looks pretty good for the price. It's a better quality display than I anticipated, but everything else doesn't feel as nice. And it's relative. I would say it's relatively anti-glare. It's not shiny. It's not a touch screen, so you can touch it, but nothing will happen. Violet wants to know, how was my lunch? My lunch was good today. I just had some stuff in the fridge. And I'm going to have to jet out of here in about an hour, so we're going to try to cut through as fast as we can. The keyboard does not appear to be backlit. So you will have to take some typing lessons so you can find where the keys are. Now there's a dispute here because KK says it is backlit, but I don't know about that. Let me check, because this is one of those laptops where there's like a bunch of different configurations. So let's see. Yeah, it does not appear to be back. At least it's not being advertised as such. I don't see any command to turn off the keyboard backlight. So I'm going to say this is not a backlit keyboard, but I'll double check that. All right, so we're going to install the recommended version, and we'll get those chipset drivers installed. But the keyboard is I don't think the keyboard is backlit on this one. So my understanding to this question is that I think what happens with these Ryzen machines is that it dynamically adjusts the RAM sharing to accommodate a greater need. I think that's what they do. And Dexter, let's check some other thing. Dexter here also points out that they've been making improvements. Now I've looked at now, I've posted one review, but I've looked at, I think, 3 now powered by this chip. So it does look like it's running a little faster than before. The RAM, and Dexter's correct, I was looking in the wrong spot. So the memory, let's go down to memory here. Okay, the memory says slots used 1 of 2. So I'm assuming that this is likely single channel. But it is telling me that there's another slot, so we're going to have to probably take this thing apart, which I am loath to do. But we're going to have to, I think, because here's why I don't want to take it apart, is that there are likely 2 screws underneath this. And these things never come back on after you take them off, but we're going to have to do that. So we're just going to wait for the rest of the software to install. We're going to get those drivers going. And I think we know what the outcome is going to be of this, this first 3D Mark benchmark test, right? We know what's going to happen. It's not going to be ideal, but we'll see. So KK says the Indian version, yeah, so they have like a million different versions of this, and so this one, the US version, it does not appear to have a backlight. And Ian says maybe upgrade from an i5-7200U. I think it depends on what you're going to be doing, but this would, I think, be an upgrade. These chips are fast, and you'll see that on some of the benchmarks. Especially graphically. You know, from a graphics standpoint, these are really excellent. And Joseph says, removing the feet is not fun. Yeah, I am with you there, my friend. It is not fun to remove the feet. Okay, so we're just waiting for the driver to install here. And we're going to do a restart. And then when it restarts, I think we'll be ready to go. Yeah, we're not going to do all the Windows updates and stuff that we usually do. And I might grab CPU-Z also. I have a feeling, though, that this is probably configured like a lot of these other laptops that we've looked at, where they have like onboard RAM and then they leave a socket open, I hope. And the hard part is it's hard to know what they do, because sometimes they have, like they'll have a spot on the motherboard where they could have soldered on a socket and don't. So it's hard to say. And we'll just wait for this thing to log back in. And I think it's still got to finish installing the drivers, because the display brightness is off now, but it's got to do the drivers here, so we're going to let that go. Nick MG is wondering what the battery life is. Let me see what they say on Amazon's website here. They say long battery life. And they claim 9 hours and 45 minutes. And that is based on, let's see, that is based on the Windows 10 Mobile Mark 18 test. But that, of course, will vary based on what you're doing. So the stuff we're doing today obviously would eat into it more. All right, so we're just waiting for this to finish installing the drivers. And see, this is misleading too, because you get this thing, I mean, I guess it's true to a degree, but like I'm getting these ads here from ExpressVPN, which I opted out of, but it's saying, hey, your IP address is public. Well, of course it is. I don't know, I feel like scaring, I feel like it's not good practice to tell people that you can snap your fingers and be secure like that, because as you all know, they don't. VPNs can protect you in certain circumstances, but not to the extent that's being claimed here. All right, one more reboot, and we'll throw a benchmark at it and see how we do. KK's wondering, does it feel light? It doesn't feel light to me. The weight on this, let me see what they say for weight. Yeah, they say it feels heavy. It's actually 3.77 pounds, which is 1.7 kilograms. And I'll weigh it out and get a better feel for that in a second here. All right, so let's go back in. And hopefully we will have now, yeah, there's our eggs there. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, right? All right, so I think we're back up here. And let's do, and you know what I'm going to have to buy, everybody? I don't think I even have an extra stick of RAM, so I'm going to have to order one. I have a 4 gig stick, but not an 8 gig stick. So we're going to have to do that. All right. Next up, we're going to get Steam installed. And hopefully I won't put the password on the screen the way we did last time. Okay, Steam, get that going. Yeah, so keyboard and trackpad, not great here. It's springy. Like like the keyboard, I'm typing on it okay, but it's not a very comfortable keyboard. It's got some springiness to it. And now we've got the McAfee web things. Like, really? Microsoft's built-in thing is more than adequate. That and good practices is what I recommend. All right, so let's log into Steam here. And we have a bunch of stuff already on this hard drive. So the good news is we won't have to download anything after I log in. So we'll get that drive connected. A piece of the packaging is caught in between the plastic of the case here. So I'm hoping, first of all, I'm hoping that we have dual channel memory configured. But if they don't, then the likely scenario here is we're going to have to order an extra stick of RAM to finish reviewing this, because I don't have an 8 gig stick to the best of my knowledge. I'll have to check in my drawer and see what I have a drawer full of memory, but I don't think I have an 8 gig stick. I've got 4 gig sticks, varying speeds, but not that. All right, so let me log in here. And get my security code typed in. Bear with me, folks. I don't even know how many computers I've attached to my Steam account, because we run like that 3D Mark benchmark. We run on everything. So, all right. So let's go and connect this hard drive up. But I have a very strong feeling we're not going to see the full performance out of out of this, and it'll become immediately apparent when we run this benchmark test. All right, so we're going to boot up 3D Mark. And we'll see how it does. And if it doesn't perform well, we'll try our best to take this thing apart and open it up before I got to run. So let's hope. John's wondering, is it at max performance? Yes, I'll double check that before we execute the benchmark. But yeah, I think I said it a little bit earlier. Chris Allegretta is here. Hello, my friend. And Peter agrees with the Microsoft virus protection. Yeah, you know, their built-in virus protection is pretty good. All right, so we'll see what what we got here once it finishes installing all its stuff. And oh, we're getting reminded about the next Windows, the big Windows event on June 24th. I don't need to be reminded about that. I'm sure I will tune in. Windows 11 likely could be the could be what we see. It's about time. Windows 10 has been around, I think, as long as I've been doing this channel, maybe a little bit less than that. But KK says it is midnight in India right now. Yeah, it is it is 3:30 p.m. here where I am. So just in the middle of the afternoon here. Hacking Made Fun. Yes, I do watch the 8-Bit Guy. He's one of those channels that every time he uploads something I watch. I like his stuff. And I'm not one to criticize set design, but he built a new thing for himself, and like his triangle set design I've not been fond of. I didn't want to say anything because my set is not I'm not going to criticize someone for set design given how awful mine is, but he did say in his last video that he's going to change it around a little bit. And HF Professor said, didn't they say Windows 10 was going to be the last one? I think they did, didn't they? Like Windows is going to be now a service that's constantly updated, right? I think I do remember them saying that. Yeah, we're at best performance right now. But but you know, Apple changed OS 10 to OS 11. So OS 11, the Mac OS since the latest iteration is now OS 11. Finn says it is almost 10 p.m. in Norway, 9:30, 9:28 or 21:28. But there was so what happened with this Windows 11 was that Apple had a support document that was referring to Windows 11 leaking out. Unless that was just a little fun rivalry thing, I don't know. John's on the dev channel, so he's seeing there's quite a lot of changes coming. Yeah, I suspect that we'll see Microsoft start to, they've already been doing that with Windows 10. But I think you're going to start to see a deprecation of a lot of older code for security reasons. And they're going to want you to virtualize older stuff, which I think would make sense. Virtualize or containerize. Because that's where a lot of the security issues come with Windows, is all the old legacy code that they have to support. I mean, I have apps that I ran in high school that still run on Windows 10 right now. I mean, that's crazy, right? And Apple just keeps like cutting it off. Like, okay, we're done. Tough luck. Thank you for the kind words. Much appreciated. I'm going to see if I can get this right. Sawang Solo. Let me know if I got that pronunciation correct. Tano says 32-bit will be removed eventually. Yeah, I think they'll probably go in that direction. I mean, certainly Apple did that, right? They were like, we're done with 32-bit. It's all over. And by the way, this is going to run really slow on here because this benchmark is designed for more beefy computers, but the slow speed here is not of concern so much as the results will be at the end. And what we'll do is we'll compare this against the other machine we looked at a few weeks ago, which we know was dual channel. So that'll give us an insight as to whether or not we need to take this thing apart or not. If it's the same, then we know we're probably dealing with dual channel RAM, but I suspect we're dealing with a single stick. So here's a question from Rakesh about an i5. Is it better with 16? That's a tough question. I think it depends on what you're running. The 10th generation chips graphically were the same between the i5 and the i7 if you had the Iris graphics, but the new 11th generation has a pretty measurable performance difference graphically on Iris graphics between the i5 and the i7. So I would, I don't know what you're looking at, but I would go for the i7 if you're looking for graphics performance. But others in the chat might disagree, so chime in. And Michael here likes the concept of continual updates. Yeah, I think it makes sense, doesn't it? I was very interested in some of the features that Apple announced this week. Primarily, they're going to make FaceTime universal, so you can send out a web link, so people on Android phones and on Windows can now join FaceTime calls. Because my father's got an Android phone, and he's like the only one in the family we can't talk to right now. My kids just like to FaceTime people all the time. So. Yeah, Finn, I noticed this the other day also because my little Surface Book updated, and all of a sudden I've got weather now in the taskbar. So I'm not too crazy about that either. I might turn that off. I don't need to see the weather constantly. I can go look outside, right? So. Chris says, to be fair, the 64-bit has been the standard for, since Core 2. That's right. It's been a long time. Yeah, that's what I mean. They've been hauling all this legacy code around. And they have to, right? Because there's so many enterprise customers that are desiring that, right? They want that. So Michael says that if I put the 4 gig stick in, it'll be dual channel for at least the first 4 gig. That's good to know. Yeah, I might just buy like a pair of 16 just to have it, because what happened was these laptops used to ship with 4, and then you put another 4 in and bring it to 8. Now they're shipping with 8, so I've got to get. I always like to just match them up equally, especially on the Intel ones, because they tend to be a little less forgiving with mixed RAM. Brandon Wallace said, yeah, see, this is like the thing. Everything is opt-in now, right? Like, they should give you the option. Maybe when you install it, would you like to see the weather widget below or not? Exactly. I'm like, I didn't want this. If I was asked, I would think about it and then say no, maybe, right? Joseph says, what, go outside? Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually watching the weather today because in about an hour, I am going to my high school to help them with with my local high school, not the one that I went to. But I'm going up there to help them with their live stream of the graduation this afternoon. And we're hoping that we don't see thunderstorms in the middle of it. So wish us luck. The good news is all the equipment, it's not my equipment, but all the equipment is inside. It's in a building, it's in a structure. So it won't have any weather problems there. But it's really exciting because they've got a whole crew of kids out there running the show. So I just love that they have that as a program offering. And it's a neat integration when you have a media studies program in the high school, because that can link with the athletics program. So the kids that may not be like me, who are not so athletic, can still be a part of the athletic program. And when I was in high school, they used to put me on the roof and I would record the soccer games for them. and I was awarded athletic points even though I was not actually playing soccer. It may be a shock and surprise to all of you, but I was not an athlete in high school. Nope, not me. Got a super chat to thank here from Bradley. And loves the channel. What are your thoughts of using the M1 Mac Pro on a daily computer for work teaching? So you know what's funny that you should ask this? I just posted a video recently about my current laptop fleet. And I am using my M1 MacBook Air as my everything computer. In fact, I was working on a video project on it a little while ago, and now it's down here. Like, I bring it all over the house. I have not touched, so I have a 15-inch MacBook Pro that I bought 4 years ago. I'm going to turn it over to Jake, who does my editing, because I haven't used that computer since I got this one. It's that good. And this one's fanless. It doesn't make any noise at all. It's just amazing. And you know, like I sit on these conference calls, like all this stuff, it's totally silent. It is super responsive. You know, it's tuned for the things that people do with their computers, but Apple's really, they've really upped the game on these chips. Now, you could certainly find faster Intel machines, but they're going to consume more power. So for example, my live streams, I'm running with vMix on a really beefy PC with a GPU. Like I could not run my streams off the M1, although if there was software that could do it, that would be the case. But yeah, no, I have no reservations about that. I think it's an excellent platform for that. And Bradley says, since he bought his, yes, I mean, it's like, you know what it is about these things? They're so fast and so quiet and so responsive that you feel like when you go to something else, it feels slower. It's really weird. All right, yeah, so this is almost certainly single channel. So let me go into so if you go to Lon.TV/benchmarks, you will see the comparison. And I'm going to go to my Time Spy tab here. Actually, you know something? I take that back. Let's go. Nope. Yep. I don't take that back. I am going to stick to my assertion. So we looked at one with the 5500U last week. I'm just going through my results here. Yeah. So the HP 15-inch. I'm just trying to remember if I've done a review of this one yet. Let me see here. I thought I could have sworn we did another one. Hang on, let me see which one we just reviewed, because it's not showing up on my chart, and I'm curious now. I review so many laptops, I can't keep them straight anymore in my head. I'm like all over the place. Okay, so, all right, yeah, there it is. Okay, so the HP 15Z EF2000 was the one we looked at a couple of weeks ago. All right, exactly. Okay, so that one, the 15Z, which is a little bit more expensive than this one, had almost double the performance. So if you look at on the chart, and I'll highlight, and I just don't have my screen up so you can't see it on the stream, but this chip should be getting us about double the performance we're getting right now, because this is only a single channel configuration. So this shows you just what a difference it makes when you have 2 sticks of RAM installed in one of these computers. So now we're going to have to take this thing apart. So let me go over and at least record the score on the spreadsheet so that I can have this for later. So this is the HP 14. I got to get the part number on this thing. Okay, this is the 14-FQ1021NR. And we'll just put in Ryzen 5500U, 1 stick. And if you're on the thing right now, you'll see me filling this in. So this is coming in at 665. So it's performing like a 1-stick computer performs. So that's your answer, right, everybody? So as configured, not good, right? Because you're not going to notice it when you're web browsing, but you're going to definitely notice it if you are doing anything else. So now, how much time have we got? We're going to be cutting it close here, but let's give it a shot. We're going to take this thing apart real quick. And then I'm going to have to leave so quickly, it's going to be opened on the operating room table here. But we're going to do it. We're going to do this because I'm going to have to take it apart anyhow, and we may as well do it now. So let me just put the box away here, and I'm going to get my magnetic screw holder because we're likely not going to be able to have enough time to put it back together again. And then if it does have an extra RAM slot, I'll see if I have a stick I can throw in there, and if I don't, we'll go shopping and buy one. Because why not? So I'm going to take this apart with my handy-dandy Oriya tool set here. And I bought this on Prime Day a little while back. By the way, I'm going to be having a live stream on the home page during Prime Day. So if you want to check that out, I will send out an email to let you know where to find it. And I think the computer is still on. Yeah, the fan's still running. So maybe we should not take it apart until it actually turns itself off. You know, I have a feeling this thing just turned itself back on when I flipped it over. Because I'm pretty sure I shut it down, but we'll figure that out. Okay. And Michael says, yeah, I think it's important, you know, and the way I look at it is that when I was in high school, my school didn't have somebody, so I always felt like if I can help kids like me who want to pursue this, to be able to help them out. And I'm also on the school board too, so I try to do what I can for the community here. I'm actually on 2 school boards now. Okay. That one there. And then we're going to have to pry this off because I am pretty certain that there is screws underneath this. I don't think there are screws under this one, but there's got to be screws under this one here. So we're going to have to pry this thing off and get in underneath that. Let me get in with like a screwdriver or something, because without tearing up the case here either. There we go. Well, this is coming off nice and clean, actually. I might be able to get this back on again. So we're going to put that over here. And as expected, that came off real nice, because usually it leaves the tape on the machine and you're stuck. And Thomas, thank you for the super chat, Thomas, and with a warning, careful with the battery. Ooh, yeah, don't puncture the batteries. Did you have any fire issues? Because sometimes if you puncture them real good, you can have some bigger problems. All right. And by the way, one of the reasons why I like to use a magnetic screw thing is that I can keep the screws organized. First of all, they don't fall off the magnet strip, but I can also keep them organized in the order in which I took them off, so I know where they go. So Joseph is wondering, how do you serve on 2 school boards? Well, we have, in my town, we have 2 school boards because we have a regional school, and we also have a local elementary school. And there's a long story behind all that, but you can serve on both, and I think it's important to, because you can get the full, you get a full K-12 perspective, which you don't get if you're just on one of the 2. All right, so right now what I'm doing is I'm trying to get into this. So the case kind of wraps around the keyboard deck here. So that is how we're going to get in there. And just go nice and gentle. I got one of these spudger things to get in there to open it up, because they really do a pretty good job on these computers of putting these cases together. They really snap in quite tightly. Although this one had some pieces of packaging material that were getting caught in the crack. All right, let's see if we can get in there. Oops, that was my spudger, not the. Yeah, people also mentioned that guitar picks. This is kind of like a guitar pick. It's a very thin one. This is from iFixit, but guitar picks work well for this too. You just want to get something in there to kind of separate the case, and eventually you get enough of it separated that you can just lower it down. And we'll get it on the side here. Yeah, because this one looks like it lifts up from the keyboard. I gotta be careful because this one I bought, so this is mine, whether I break it or not. But they don't like you getting into these things these days. You know, I wonder if there's screws underneath this part here because it feels like something's holding onto it. So we're going to take a look and see if there are screws under this one. Let's see if this one comes off as cleanly as the other one did. Yeah, this one's not. The adhesive is really stuck there. But yeah, I'm not seeing any screws there. We're going to put that back on. Okay. See, that one did not come off clean. The other one did. All right, so let's see if we can get in here. What I might do is just put it up this way. I was not sure how this separates, because generally the back part comes off, right? So you don't have... But the way it works is that it goes around that way. There we go. Now we're making some progress. You see how it happens? Like you get it in the right spot, and then it all just comes together, or comes apart. Not all comes together, but it all just comes apart. All right, let's see if we can get in there. There we go. All right, so now let's flip it back around here. It's really hanging on right in that spot right there. Yeah, we always struggle with the separation part, and partly because there's none of these come apart the same way. They're all unique to their own situation, and this I suspect is because of the trackpad. Again, I don't want to break anything here either, so we're trying to be really careful. It's really hung up right in this spot right here. There's like something really just hanging on there. One of these days I'm waiting for Princess Leia to pop out in a projection and tell me that the Empire is coming for them. Here we're getting there. They never come apart easy. I'm just trying to get a glance in there, maybe because it's almost like, you know, if there's no RAM slot, it's really not worth going any further. But I can't yet see in there, and something's just really holding on pretty tight right in this spot right here. I wonder if there's a screw. It almost feels, like I said, it almost feels like there's another screw, like a single screw somewhere, because it's just usually like you can get it to pop, but it's not popping. Yeah, I'm going to check it. I have to pull that part off, which stinks because it did not come off cleanly on the other side, but if I can get it. So I guess the answer to the question would be if you want to upgrade this, it's probably not going to be a fun experience, because this adhesive is, there we go, that's clean. Yep, there's a screw right there. So I'm going to put this down right here. I did get it to come off cleanly, somewhat. But wow, is that intricate. And it's just going to pop now that we got that screw out. So you got to take off both feet and all the screws. And now we should be able to get in there. There we go. Oh yeah. All right, now we just got to separate the back. The darn well better be a stick of RAM waiting for us, or a slot. Okay, that one's free. Now we'll get on the other side here. There we go. All right. Okay, awesome. Hey, you know what? There is some expansion in here. So let's get in on that. Wow, is that a chore? So let's zoom in a little bit. So we've got a stick of RAM here, but there is definitely room for another one. It looks like you got a spot for a SATA drive there, but you know, I don't know if you'd fit one in there with the case size, the way it is. So that's odd. Hang on, let me just get organized here. All my little screw things just came apart. So I'll search and see if I have any RAM kicking around. I likely do not. Or I've got it in like my gaming machine, but that's got to come with me to the graduation in case we need it as a backup. So what do we have on here? So we've got our NVMe drive. Yeah, it's an NVMe. Only one chip though. We got the battery, and we've got an extra RAM slot. And I'm assuming this is DDR4. So maybe what I'll do here is just take a look and see. Yeah, it's Micron. It's PC 3200. So we'll just grab a shot of that. I can make a note of it. Just make a note real quick on my sheet. Question about the Wi-Fi card. Yes, the Wi-Fi card is slotted. It is, I don't even know what brand it is. It's a Realtek. So maybe I'll take some pictures of the interior here and the RAM, so we have that. Picture there. And there's a QR code on the card here. So this is PC 3200. I'll see if I have any of that in the hopper, and if I don't, I'll have to go out and get some. And what I'm going to do here is record some B-roll. So this is the HP 14. All right, so we're going to record about 10 seconds of B-roll here. So some questions about the 5500U. Is this Zen 3? No, this one is Zen 2. But we have seen a little bit performance boosts over the 4500U in some of our testing, at least on the last one we looked at. I'm just going to get in on that RAM slot there. My camera can't focus that close, but we can get to that. So I've been finding with my B-roll shots that it's good to get a little close-ups going too. So got that one for the camera to settle down. And let's look at the Wi-Fi card here. All right, good there. Okay. It is amazing, though, the complexity that goes into making these computers, right? It's pretty nuts. So there's some discussion about the RAM. My understanding on the AMDs, and I think a lot of you would confirm that, is that you can have two varying sizes. The Intel machines are not forgiving with that. Like, you have to have them matching. But on these, you do have some flexibility. So let's see, I've got DDR3, that's not going to cut it. Let's see, what's this one? This is DDR4 2866, that's not fast enough. And this one is Kingston, I don't know what this one is. I doubt it's fast enough. It's 8 of something. I doubt, though, that this is going to work, but let's see what else I got in here. Yeah, I'm going to have to buy some more RAM. Nothing's easy, folks. Yeah, so I've got 2 sticks of 8 here, but these are slower. These are not fast enough, which is a bummer, right? Because it's... So I could have sworn I did buy 2 sticks of 8, which I did, but it's the wrong kind of 8. So this one, yeah, this can't be fast enough. I'll scan it anyhow just to be thorough, but I don't think this is going to work. Yeah, so this is, and by the way, this is not unusual to see a setup like this, where you've got a stick of RAM installed, but room for a second. Some of them actually solder the first stick on the board, and then they have a slot available. So, you know, if you're going to have if I have a preference, it's, you know, it's probably for, you know, a scenario like this one, where you at least have 2 socketed sticks of RAM, because that does give you some flexibility. Jesse says I should get a bigger desk. I agree. But you know, I'm a creature of habit. So I'm just kind of stuck with this tiny little desk here. What I would love to be able to do is slide my camera back and forth above me. I've got this rig that I got a while back, but it doesn't move. So, but the desk is big enough for what I do. I mean, I can only reach so far. But I'm definitely running out of room on here. And then I am so far behind on everything that it's been one of those crazy months here. I'm just trying to see if I can get that QR code scanned on the RAM that I'm looking at. Yeah, it's not doing that. Yeah, this is some Kingston memory, but I don't think this is fast enough. Let me look it up. Because it does look like it's 8 gigabytes. Let's see. CBD2 for DS7. S8. K1. It doesn't help that my eyes are going. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be coming up with a part number. Let's see what these are again here. Yeah, I'm going to have to buy another stick. So this is PC4 3200 is what it's got in there. So I will buy a stick of DDR4 3200. I'll just buy a stick of that. And then when that comes in, we will, yikes, well, that's 32 gig stick. Let's see, 8 gigabytes. And like I said, what used to happen was that these would have, I guess there's a RAM shortage, isn't there? So that's going to be part of my problem. Yes, I'll track down some memory for this thing, and we'll get that figured out. So I've got like RAM sticks all over the place, so I will investigate that, and that way we can finish looking at this one. But in the meantime, I'm going to leave it taken apart, because that will be easier to put it back together again later. And I'll figure out what that Kingston RAM is. So, yeah. There you go. That's what it looks like. So CM says, what about 2 sticks of 4? Yeah, I could do that too, except the RAM that I have is slower. So I want to at least match the spec that it shipped with. And this is 3200. The best I've got is 28 and change. So that is what we're dealing with there. Okay. So we got to match it as best we can. So I'm going to go and look on Amazon here and see if we can find, so DDR4, we're going to go for 8 gigabytes. And then we're going to do a SODIMM, right? So let's see what our choices are here. So there is a stick of Crucial, which I think is exactly what they have. Now, you know what's funny about this is it said I purchased this before. So maybe what I have is working with it. So, all right, so here's where I'm confused. It says that I purchased this last year. Oh, a different variation, so it's a different speed. Okay, that's what happened. Right, so that's the 266 version, and this is the 3200 version. So I'm going to probably get this stick of RAM. I'm curious if they have a 16 gig kit, what that will cost. So 16 gig is an extra. It's basically, yeah, you know, I'll get the single. You know what? No, I'm going to get the 16 kit because if I get the kit and something mismatches between the two sticks, I've got two matching sticks here. So yeah, this is 3200 CL22. Let's see if this one is the same specs here. It doesn't say, but all right, I'll get the kit. All right, so we're going to order that. I will have that by Friday, and that's fine because I can work on something else tomorrow. So we're going to order that. And sometimes these things show up quicker too. So, and I will have that delivered. Okay. Nothing's easy, folks. So basically, whatever this thing costs, add 50 bucks to get your RAM up to speed. That's what you got to do. So after that RAM comes in, we'll have a part 2 of this stream where we'll go ahead and test it some more and see what we end up with. Chris says, how about 2 sticks of 0.5? Yeah, there you go. And tomorrow's fear, so let's upgrade the SSD while we're at it. I wish I could. You know, the problem is the SSD that I have available, my extra one, is sitting inside the Asus that I looked at the other day. I've got more laptops. I got to return like 4 of them at this point that we reviewed that I haven't gotten to reset yet. So Jake can finally come back. So I think I may have Jake come in one day a week and just start clearing stuff out. So it's crazy. Now Michael says, don't sweat about the sticks not being fast enough. Dual channel is more important than speed. So I'd love to hear some thoughts on that. If I can get by with what I have already. But I think this is not going to be the last of this kind of thing that we're going to see. So on that note, at least we made some progress here. So I'm happy that I was able to get something done today because I've been working on a project, so I haven't had as much time to do my usual content as I would like. But I'll tell you what, that UFO video did well. Oh my goodness, we're up to like 20,000 views on that. So that one's been, that's a fun topic. I'm really fascinated with that. So that was really interesting. Okay, so, oops, I just put the case back on there. So what I'm going to do is, here's a great question. How do I keep track of it all? You know how I keep track of it? I have a drawer of stuff. So I've got like a drawer full of RAM that I've been accumulating since the DDR3 days. So yeah, it's not a perfect scenario. So let me ask the experts in the chat here. If I took those 2 sticks, so here's what I have currently, because I could always cancel this order. Here's what I currently have. I have, and give me 1 second here. Let me pull up my screen so you can see what I have. So let me pull up NDI desktop capture. Bear with me 1 second, folks, and I will show you exactly what I have. So yeah, so what I have is this. So I have these, but my concern is that this one is shipping with 3200. So I don't know if that would, you know what I mean? Like I'm trying to match what it ships with. So I don't know if we would see a performance difference or if the RAM might be unstable if it's trying to run at a faster speed. So that's my question for all of you. So let me know what you think about that. All right. And if you happen to see this recorded and you have an answer, you can leave a comment in the comment stream, because that'll work even after the stream ends. And you can let me know. All right. So on that note, I have to run because I've got to get over to this graduation. I've got to pack up. I got to pack up my computer here and bring it with me because that's the backup. So that is the plan. And Brendan makes a good point. It might be a good comparison to see how it does do. Like people don't really go into that level of detail on these cheap computers, right? What would happen if you put in slower RAM? And Corey here points out that AMD loves fast RAM. So okay, so I'm gonna stick to my purchase. I'm getting that kit. We'll put the extra 8 gigs in here. I'm gonna leave this like disassembled here. Hopefully none of the screws get out of whack. So we have the computer taken apart, and then I've got the strips and all the screws in the right place there. So I will just kind of leave it out. And then when those sticks arrive, we will continue this. And we'll have another stream. And in the meantime, I've got a pile of laptops that Jake has gone through already, so we can keep going. So that is the plan. Okay, so let me go pack up and head out. But I want to thank you all for tuning in as usual, and I appreciate you all being a part of this. And we'll do this again. So I might stream tomorrow. We'll see where I'm at in the morning, because I've got a meeting in the afternoon. So I've got to get out of here at like 3:45. So it's just yeah. And I'm praying for no rain. And it's going to be like this time of year where I live. The rain is like all over the place. So you don't get like you get like sometimes a big storm that takes over the whole state, but a lot of times it's very localized. So they have a plan though. So the plan is, if we're seeing like the weather's looking iffy, we're going to skip all the speeches from the adults, and we're going to get those kids their diplomas. Like that's priority one. Get them across the stage. They've earned it this year. And then have the speeches from the adults be the back end. So it's going to be a very student-focused event, as it should be. So it's going to be fun. All right, everybody. I will catch you all very soon. Thank you all for tuning in, and stay tuned for the next one. Set those notifications, and we'll come back with another one of these very, very shortly. I want to thank Thomas Anfang for the Super Chats, along with, we had one other one that I missed here, Bradley Cochran. So thank you, Bradley and Thomas, for your Super Chats, and I will catch you all next time. Bye-bye.